Hello. I would ask you to take a nice breath in, big sigh. Let the breathing come back to normal. Eyes opening. Welcome. My name is Drake, and this is Touching the Edge, and this is our 40-day practice. I'm so happy for you to be here with me today because I am committed to shining into the world and creating what I would like to see in the world by my own projection. Being the change that you want to see in the world. It reminds me of growing up in Chicago. I grew up in an Irish American community in the early 70s that was very, very strongly not wanting people who looked like me to move into that community. I mean, at least a large amount of those people. They were very, very aggressive, very focused on letting us know or letting me know as I was going to and from school. I was a young boy. I was in early grade school, and the hostility was so intense that I felt like I was blistering in the heat of it. I fortunately, though, was also going to spend time with my family in the projects in Chicago, and I was seeing a different kind of hostility, a different kind of disrespect amongst people, and a different kind of sort of violent interaction. So for me, it was very interesting because very early in life, I began to think, what's wrong with us? Why are we like this? Why are we stealing from each other? Why are we attacking each other? I didn't see it as self versus other. I saw it as we against ourselves. And I have to tell you, that's still how I see things. Now, for me, I had to find a way in a situation where I felt so powerless inside my home, outside my home, feeling so unsafe. How could I feel powerful in that situation? I was often couched as ugly. I was told I was ugly very, very often by people. I was couched as being stupid. And so that scar tissue began to affect me, and I began to feel like there was no hope for me in this world. But gradually, I was opening up and finding things. I was influenced by the TV show Kung Fu. I began to study Taoism. Early on, 9, 10, 11 years old, I was studying Buddhism and existentialism and really, really getting into this. Originally, I got into existentialism because it talked about the future being so bleak that you wanted to stay in the present. And that's how I felt. When I would go to bed at night, I would wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. What even might happen tonight. As I was going along, I realized that I could be powerful by focusing in the beauty of the moment. That's what I learned from Zen Buddhism. And I began to study widely. And so what I began to realize, and it took me many, many years, and many years I was feeling so much tremendous self-hatred. But gradually over time, I began to realize that I was powerful. And I began to see others, and I began to recognize that this is where I wanted to be. And this place was going to help me become the man I hoped to become. So what I want to suggest to you is you're exactly the you that I want to hang out with. That's what I express to people. Oftentimes I will talk to someone who is expressing an apology because of where they're at. No, it's like the sea meeting the shore. The sea fits every nook and cranny. You're the you I want to hang out with, and this is the world I want to be in. No, this is not the way I would like it to be. I'm struck again by the level of cruelty in our world, and when George Floyd was murdered years ago, I felt like I was in two places at the same time. I felt like I was both in the present at the time and in the past. But I draw strength from that past self, and I began to shine into the world to the best of my ability to support other people who wanted to maintain a positivity. And I want to express that today. The cruelty that we see in the world, the cruelty that's been happening all around our country in the United States, the epicenter that occurred in Minneapolis, and the cruelty that we see expressed daily in Ukraine, the barbarity. And that's the way that I see it. There's a barbarity to this conflict that is astounding. But I want to suggest to you that this is the world that we are meant for. This is where we are meant to become our best self. If we don't allow it to shape us, if we radiate into the world and keep our vision focused on where we want to be. If we realize that what's going on is part of an infectious pattern, just like the pandemic, it's a different sort of pandemic. It's an infectious pattern that moves and gets shared amongst people so that more and more and more people develop the same view of reality, a toxic view of reality, a view of self versus other, with the other being evil, but we are good. I would suggest that it's much more like disease, much more like someone catching COVID. A person who catches COVID is not evil. They have gotten an infectious disease. This sort of infectious disease is something that affects people's view of reality and their ability to make a choice whether to go left or right. Do you go towards hatred or do you go towards love? It doesn't mean that you can't protect yourself or your family. It doesn't mean if you're being attacked by someone that you can't defend yourself. But understand that if you develop this idea that this person is evil, what begins to happen is you begin to harden your heart and you begin to close your heart. And I would like to suggest to you that your best path is with an open heart. So consider this day, make this day and shine into this world this day as though you were going to leave this place. Don't leave this place with hatred. Don't leave this place being terrified. We were born for this. We were built for this. And we can find our best self through this. So focus on today. Don't try to eat all your meals of the future today. Focus on today. My teacher said that all experience is a form of food. Be careful of what you're consuming. Be careful of the news. I'm not saying don't hide from what's happening, because what's happening is here to support us in becoming those powerful people that we were meant to become. But make sure that you're feeding yourself positive material. Make sure that you commit on having a good morning this morning. That's all you have to do. If you have a good morning, the day will follow. Just have a good day today. So I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. I'm going to ring the bell. Here we go. This world is offering you a choice. Make the right one. I bring my hands into prayer position and I bow to you because I know you are here to lead us. Namaste, my friend. Have a good day.